Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. That is Stephen Howson doing a bit of a review of Manchester United's late win against Brentford. Steve, how do you look at this one, right? Because there's two sides to this. There's the euphoria of a late win. And I found out today it's the first time we've got 2 goals in injury time to win a game, because I thought Steve Bruce's were both in injury time and they weren't, which is a bit of a revelation to me because I was there.
No, they surely they were. Was 189 or something?
One was 86. It said.
No, it wasn't, Jay.
Mate, I had this with Joe live and we checked and it was 86 and 96.
All right, I won't Google it then.
I was not, mate. I did what you did. Joe said it and I got my phone out doubting him and Joe was showing me.
I said 91, 97.
Yeah. That's what I said. I said they both came in injury time. I was there. I remember it. And apparently one was like the late 80s.
I was near my car. Not my car, my dad's car.
You coming out probably help me let me in. I was the other way around. It's your fault because you had a ticket, right? If you'd done what I did, didn't have a ticket, waited, couldn't get in, tried to jib in, couldn't. What?
I was 9.
You must have been, like, because I was 30.
Yeah, it would have been 9. That would have been 9.
Yeah,
I was 9.
So that was a revelation for me today to find that out. But yeah, our first game with two injury time goals to win it. So you can look at it that point of view of great, you fought it, we've got a win, it's amazing the way we've done it. And then there's a flip side to that of saying for big parts of that game, Manchester United were poor and some of our big players were poor. I suppose it's glass half full, glass half empty. How would you look at that game? How would you sort of sum it all up?
The dressing room after a last-minute equaliser or winner, let alone 2, is euphoric and will feel invincible and is probably a great way to sign off for the international break. That was much needed. And I think my feeling and analysis of it is influenced by the fact that if we hadn't have scored those, we go into a 2-week period without Manchester United and it was going to suck. I mean, TalkSport have already tried to go, why are they celebrating that win? Because fuck you, Gabby. That's why, right? Let's have that straight. Like, you're not allowed to celebrate wins now. Liverpool were lauded for celebrating a fucking draw against West Brom. Don't think so. So, I would say sometimes this season we've not had a lot of great performances, but sometimes our performances have deserved more than the result that we got.
Agreed.
And we get no credit for that. We've had no credit for that. The most important stat is the result. And I think today, with all of the noise, all of the circus, all of the issues, I mean, Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans starting at centre-half for Manchester United in 2023 in the Premier League, and not for a bet, is on its own something that has to be like accounted for. So yeah. I think in the circumstances being what they are, in the mood of the club at the moment, in how much we required that win, you take the win. There was so many times under Sir Alex that we did not play well and we snatched a win and everyone's going, you fucking jammy bastards. And guess what? Rather be lucky than good.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I agree with everything you said. And I think when we've lost games or when we've not got the result, well, it's mainly been losses, hasn't it, when we've not had the result wanted, everyone just goes, everything's rubbish. The whole performance is rubbish. Everyone's rubbish. And you think sometimes the Arsenal game in particular, certain decisions go your way. It's a different story. First half against Spurs, I thought
by the way.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So, yeah, I completely hear what you're saying with that. Do you think we saw anything today that is going to give Erik ten Hag something to think about longer term? And when I say that, I mean some of the performances in terms of like Casemiro went off at halftime. Marcus is still in this little bit of a rut. McTominay showed something when he came on. Obviously, got the 2 goals. Maguire wasn't a disaster. Do you think he'll see anything that goes, actually, maybe I need to rethink this? Or do you feel it's some of it was just a bit of needs must?
Problem is, I think the one thing that he goes and writes down on his little notepad and mulls over tonight, tomorrow, Monday, when Carrington's all quiet. I think he's written Casemiro, underlined it, and and coloured in a box all around it. And I think he's looking at it going, I thought I had a player here. Now, it might just require a rest. It might just require playing into a bit of form. It might be done, right? You don't actually know. But that was a player that we signed last year. I think we all expected 2 to 3 seasons out of him. No one thought 7, right? But we thought more than 1. Surely. Yeah. You don't spend 70 million on someone for a single season. So if Casemiro needs replacement, and he might, then that's going to be problematic for us. And it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, because I think when we were looking at the rejigging of the squad this season, and you look at the players that we brought in and what we've tried to do, it was almost like Casemiro wasn't thought about because we were trying to box off all of these other areas. And then you get everybody, all the chess pieces on the board, and you go, what the fucking hell's Casemiro? And what you thought was a bishop's a pawn. You're like, shit. Like, now we've got an issue here. How are we going to cover up for this? Because what we thought today was a poor showing from Casemiro. Yeah. And it would be all right if that had been like the only one. You go, listen, it's Casemiro. He's just dropped a stinker today. We'll be fine next time we run out. That's been a consistency from him this season. And it's worrying. And it almost feels like, did we fucking kill him with how much we required from him last year? More than he's ever played in his life. An intensity he's not used to. In a team that is like not used to the amount of ball and the amount of, like, think about how much it takes out. Like, if you win 5-0, probably 2/3 of that game you weren't in danger, which means you get to relax. It's not that cortisol response and stress response, which that's what tires you out, I think. And that's what makes it hard. When you're within a goal of getting back in a game or losing a game or drawing a game and it's on the edge for 90 minutes, like Manchester City at the minute, do they look tired to you? Fucking no. Like, they are cruising through stuff because most of their games are done after 30 minutes. They get their noses in front. You know they're not going to lose it. The players, even subconsciously, will know they're not going to lose it, and they can all relax. And their style of play, once they relax, they get better, actually. Like, Manchester City panicking is a bad Manchester City. Manchester City 2-0 up at home with loads of the ball, you're not going to see it, and you're not going to win that game. Like, you've got to do some drastic shit to get it off them. Whereas you play for Manchester United, because of the ownership situation, which people always want to dismiss, but it's a fucking big factor around the club and around the mood of the club. And I think it's the main driving factor in why there's an impatience in the fan base. Yes, those results on the pitch are shite and can't be defended. But I think that we'd have more patience if we actually believed our owners give a fuck about us. And it's almost like the last straw. Every single time we lose a game, it feels like the last straw for a lot of fans. Because we're so sick of the owners. And we're so sick of TalkSport and the fucking biased Sky Sports News and the way they treat us. And the way that some of our players are held to a completely different fucking standard. And the way that even when United win, they have to be criticised. Whereas other teams just get to win and enjoy their victories. Even teams who lose get less criticism than Manchester United winning, which is mental to me. But all of those factors feed into an Old Trafford crowd, which as soon as we go a goal behind, there isn't the resiliency in the crowd at the moment because we've had 10 years of fucking dross and we know we're abused stepchildren to our fucking horrible stepdads. Like, so we're always just ready to throw the towel in. This isn't, the 90s where everything had gone great, where it didn't matter, where you was able to rally around the likes of David Beckham immediately from what happened in 98 because we was a United fan base. It's like the fucking People's Front of Judea in the Manchester United fan base at times because there's so many different factions and it's the old divide and conquer fucking thing. The Glazers just create so much havoc and shit and carnage and the way they've just making narrative all the time with the way this touting shit's going on. Like, there's never a day with Manchester United where there's just good news. And and just plain sailing, or things just going fucking right, and it's draining. And for me, one of the reasons that you end up with the fan base being so quick to panic when we go behind is because of the entire situation that the club finds itself in. So I think we needed that victory more than we'll ever really want to admit. The amount of people I've spoken to in the last 48 hours that have said, do you think he'll get the sack? It's almost unprecedented. It feels like I've been asked that question more. Maybe because people don't want Ten Hag to get the sack deep down. Maybe because they want to give him time. Whereas I think with Jose and with Ollie, and towards the end, everyone kind of knew it was coming. So no one really wanted to have a debate or a question about that. Like, it was more like, he's fucking going, isn't it? But I've had that question. It feels like there's a fucking guy in a petrol station just asked me. Like,
yeah.
Literally just paying for my fucking fuel, and the guy's like, do you reckon we're going to keep Ten Hag? You're like, what? Fucking hell, mate.
I hope you recognise, otherwise that's really weird.
Just asking everyone.
Just like, hey, come here, love. With that being said, Steve, I know, like, me and you did a video yesterday, went out today about backing this manager. I know you're fully like, he needs time. Give him time. He's the right man for the job and all the rest of it. And people can go and check that out. Do you think that today's result could be a bit of a turning point? Do you think it could be something he can build on because of the nature of it? Or do you feel like it's too difficult to say that, or too early to say that because we've had a couple of false dawns already?
I think without all of our major players back, it's going to be difficult to really get any sort of rhythm going. And even today, I thought we struggled with positives today from anybody, really. Like, anybody. Yeah. There wasn't a lot. I mean, yes, Scott McTominay deserves all the credit in the world. And it's funny, the amount of tweets that I saw from people going, fuck's sake. And I didn't tweet it myself, but I absolutely fucking thought it. Like, we're chasing a game
on the watch along. Yeah. I was going to say something, and I thought in my head, and I stopped myself because I thought he might just get his head on something, and I'll be clipped up, and I don't want to. And I'm so glad I stopped myself because I would have.
Well, I thought it. I might have said it. I might have said it to those around me. Like, really?
Yeah.
This is our fucking Hail Mary. Fuck me. But fair play to him. Fair play to Maguire for knocking it down and actually fighting and believing that we could do it as well, because that's important. You know, in a club and a side that is absolutely devoid of confidence right now, which we are. Like, let's be honest with ourselves, we're fucking absolutely devoid of confidence throughout the team. Not just getting the winner. And did we have one in the back of the net that was offside as well?
Yeah, and when you say offside, it was offside. There's offsides and there's.
I just can't remember the circumstances. Was it at 0-0?
It was an own goal. It was at 1-0, and it was Martial. It was an own goal, I think, but Martial flicked it on, and Martial was like 4 yards offside. I think the only debate was, did he play that? Yeah, was it?
After that, I've gone. That was our chance. Yeah. We're probably not going to get back in it now. And then obviously Scott McTominay finds a little bit of room, and you go, we've got a point. We got a point. And then the clock's not stopping. We're keeping going. And then fair fucks, we managed to pull one out. So there's nothing like winning like that. And I know it's been mentioned by a few people, but I think a Scottish Academy player scoring in Fergie time like that, while the lads are wearing black armbands, is a brilliant way to honour Lady Cathy Ferguson. So happy days.
Happy days. We'll leave it there. Well said, my friend. And congratulations on Paddock as well. I know you won't want to say congratulations because you weren't happy with the performance, but a 6-2 victory on paper. Very good. Big win. I know.
8 wins, 2 draws, no defeats this season. We're cooking something nice, I think.
You like a caretaker Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That sort of
form. It is, and it's if I get to 14 and the wheels come off. But we're at home next week. If you're in Manchester, there's no United. Paddock are at home. It's free entry on the 14th. I think it's the 14th, isn't it, next Saturday? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And it's a big game. It's one of the teams we dropped points against this year, so it'll be a fucking tasty game. And he may or may not have gone off like fuck after the game. So I'm sure that'll get fucking brought back up again.
I look forward to it. I look forward to the highlights from the heavily edited highlights from that one. Steve, always a pleasure, my friend. Go and check out Stephen Howson TV. Go and check out Stretford Paddock as well. FC, that is, of course, and this channel. And go and check out Steve's video, man, and Steve's video telling you why you should back this manager because he's the right man for the job. Sooner those owners are gone, the better. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching.
In a bit.